That Mr. Ade Africa. Okay, Alice has joined. These are the first three people that I'm seeing here. Woo! Thank you so much for joining on time. So, today we are going to be looking at habit 4. Habit 4 says think win-win, right? And you really need to develop this habit in order for you to cultivate the principles of interpersonal leadership. Right. Yesterday we talked about emotional bank, how you must not over withdraw from your emotional bank, how you must always make deposits and all of that. So that laid a foundation for what we are going to be reviewing tonight. Habit 4 says think win-win, principles of interpersonal leadership. Edwin Markham says we have committed the golden rule to memory. Now let us commit it to life. What is the golden rule? If you know it, write it in the comments. What is the golden rule? What does it say? Right? Many of us have committed it to memory. We can recite it offhand. We know it. But are we actually committing it to life? Right? That is what the principle of win-win is going to teach us. And I have titled this thumbnail, he sold a $10,000 car for $50. Right. That is a very, very powerful and an interesting example in what we're going to be learning tonight. So we're going to get there shortly. We're going to see how a man sold a car. In fact, the car was not just $10,000. It was worth over $10,000. Yet he sold it for $25 for a selfish reason, because he doesn't practice this habit. Now, let's just begin with this story. There was a time that the author was invited to help, in a company. That company, the head of the company, the president, was actually having issues with the people he was working with. The people were selfish. They wouldn't cooperate with him. So that was really giving him concern. And Stephen Covey asked him, okay, somebody has a golden rule here. Do unto others what to expect them to do for you. Yes, that is very much in line with habits 4. Think win-win, right? And we're going to see how they align. So Stephen Covey went there and was like, okay, do you think that the problem here is the people or the paradigm? And the president of the company said, oh, it's the people. They wouldn't just cooperate with me. It's so frustrating. They're selfish. They want to have their way. And Stephen Covey decided to take a look by himself, and truly, he found that the people in that organization were not cooperating. They were resistant to authority. They were defensive in their communication. They were actually very, very selfish. You could see an overdrawn emotional bank accounts. These people had been overdrawn. They had been stretched. And as he was talking to this man, he saw behind him in the curtain a chart. And this chart had like horses, pictures of horses and all of that. And the picture of the manager of that company was actually placed on the face of one of the horses. Right. And somewhere in the background was a picture of Bermuda, a beautiful city where many people would like to go for vacation and all of that. Right. So what this man was doing basically was that he was asking the people in his company to cooperate, to work together, to collaborate, that if we work together, we're going to make more money, the company is going to progress and all of that. But he was actually using competition to drive them to cooperate, to work together. So he himself was working in an opposite direction. His actions were counterproductive. So what happened in that organization? Everybody had a competitive spirit. Now the face of the manager that was superimposed on the faces of on the face of one of the horses showed that, okay, so at the end of the meeting, it would ask them, now who is going to win the trip to Bermuda? So he was actually using that as a tool to get them to work. So there would not be competition. Oh, I'm going to win at all costs so that I'll be the one to go to Bermuda. So other people who don't perform or who don't win a trip to Bermuda will now see themselves as failure. So the attitude, the mindset, the paradigm, the atmosphere in that company was more of a very competitive one. right? People now were working in so much competition with one another. So they were not cooperating. Everybody was now seeking his own good, his own win, and all of that. So that was a very flawed paradigm, a very flawed way to get people to work together. And this will lead us to looking at 6 paradigms of human interaction. Now, we use the company here as an example. This also applies to the family. It applies to your business. It applies to your relationships. You know, wherever you have to deal with people, this also applies. What are the 6 paradigms of human interaction? Number 1 is win-win. As this habit 4 is titled win-win. But there are 5 others. There is win-lose. There is lose-win. There is lose-lose. There is win. And then there is win-win or no deal. Now we're going to look at them one after the other. Win-win. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks the good of everybody, right? Mutual benefits. Everybody must win. I win, you win. Everybody is happy. You know, the world is a better place. We find solutions to problems together. If you're happy, I'm happy, and all of that. No competition. No selfishness. We all cooperate. We all collaborate. You know, there is nothing like, oh, my way is better, your way is better. No, we all seek a better way, a higher way. What is best for everybody? This win-win paradigm is based on the fact that there is plenty for everybody. Your own success is not at the expense of my failure. I did not fail because you succeeded. I am not poor because you are rich. It's not like you have taken all the money that I'm supposed to have away. That's why I am poor. Like some people would think, oh, they're the ones stealing all the money. It's because, no, that's not the mentality of win-win. Everybody is a winner. That is the win-win paradigm. The second paradigm is win-lose. This one is a selfish one. As long as I win, you should lose. In fact, if you don't lose, I cannot win. And because I win, you lose. So that is very selfish. It is the paradigm of the race to Bermuda that the president of that company was using with his employees. Oh, who's going to go to Bermuda this month or this year and all of that. So they are all racing against each other. They are all competing. And in that case, there is jealousy. There is envy. There is, they put up defenses and things like that. So they are not cooperating. They are not collaborating, right? In leadership style, win-lose is the authoritarian approach. I get my way, you don't get yours. Win-lose people are prone to use position, power, credentials, possessions, or personality to get their way. And this attitude of win-lose stems from different sources. Number 1 is the family. If as a parent, you are always comparing your children. Oh, can't you see your brother? Oh, why can't you be like John? Why can't you be like Esther? And all of that. You are creating a win-lose mentality in those children. They'll begin to feel that you don't love them conditionally. They only win if they please you, right? And once their brother is winning, they are the loser. Because that is what you project to them as a parent. And their tender heart takes this in. So it shapes their mind. They become vulnerable. So they go through life with this mentality, I must win so that you can lose and all of that. So as a family, we have to do better. This win-lose mentality also stems from peer groups, whether siblings or friends, classmates, people's peers. Because after the family, children seek validation from their peers. They seek acceptance from their peers, right? So if they constantly get approval or validation and all of that, no matter whose ox is God, they just feel like, after all, as long as I win, it doesn't matter who loses, you can lose. So there is that competition. It also stems from the academic world. The academic world does not really examine us based on our inner potentials, but it does so rather on grades. Oh, because you get an A, you are a winner. Those who get C, D, E, they are losers. So as students, as pupils, we begin to have that sense of win-lose. Oh, I'm the winner in this class and all of that. I get an A. So everybody else is a loser, right? It also comes from athletics. That one, it's a game. There must be a winner, there must be a loser. So people go into the game with a very strong sense of competition. I must win. The other party or the other club must lose. And then from the law, what happens? We live in a society that is filled with all kinds of laws. If there is anything between your neighbor, you are quick to drag each other to court. You are quick to drag your spouse to court. You know, you must win this case. I must win this case while you lose. So you even sell your assets. You sell your possessions instead of sitting down and settling things. See how you can reach a mutual agreement. You will head off to court. I must sue you. I'm going to sue you. You bash my car. I'm going to sue you. You don't even care if the other person feels bad about it or not. As long as you win, you are fine. That is the second paradigm. The third one is lose-win. I think this one is very, very terrible. In my personal opinion, right? Some people are programmed the other way. They are the opposite of win-lose. Win-lose, you always want to win, right? You want the other person to lose. When they lose, you feel good. But this time around, you want to lose. You are like, I'm your carpet. Step on me. I accept whatever you dish out to me. You can go ahead, have your way with me. Step on me. Everybody does. I'm a loser. I've always been a loser. I'm a peacemaker. I'll do anything to make peace. Whatever makes you happy, I'm going to do it. At the expense of your own feelings, at the expense of your self-esteem. You willingly make yourself feel less of a human because you want to please the other party. You don't like it, but you have conditioned yourself, you have relegated yourself to the background, to the ground, not even background, to the ground. Like you have become a footmat to everybody. You accept whatever they dish to you. You don't have standard, no principles, no values, no boundaries, nothing. You are like a bin. They keep throwing garbage at you and you accept it. Your strength comes from the acceptance of other people, their validation. You don't have any courage to express your feelings or convictions. You don't want to counter whatever they say. You want to be in their good book. You always want to be the nice guy, the nice lady. If you want anything, go to Tayo. If you want anything, go to Peter. He's such a nice guy. You can step on him. You know, that is it. But what happens? There's a repercussion to this. People who fall into this lose-win paradigm, because we have said that they don't like what other people are dishing out to them. So they have resentment. They bottle up a lot of anger, a lot of rage. It's not like they like the treatment being given to them by other people, but they lack the courage to talk because they don't want anybody to get offended. So anytime they feel like they have had it up to here, what happens? They have is a loud outburst. They express themselves in a very dangerous way. They can destroy things because they have bottled up so much. This happens at work. It happens in marriages. It happens, amongst friends and whoever. It is always better to voice your mind. Say it in the best possible way. Let the other person know that you don't accept what they are doing to you. Don't allow them to keep dishing it out to you. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, you now want to express all the ugly things they have been doing to you. It is always not the best thing to do. And people who take a lot of rubbish, the lose-win people, they are prone to all kinds of illnesses. They have mental disorder. They have respiratory problems. They have high blood pressure. They have all kinds of things. They are dealing with anger. They overreact. They overreact to their children, to their spouses. They will just have an outburst. Because they've been suppressing their emotions, right? Even their self-esteem is affected. And the quality of their relationships affected as well. Now, let's move to the fourth set of people. These are the lose-lose people. These ones are like, if I can't have it, you won't have it either. Both of us are going to lose. There's an adage in Yoruba that says, Kàkà kékú má jẹ sèse, á fi ṣàwàdànù ni. Instead of the rat not to eat the cheese, you would rather waste it. No other rat will have it. Even you as a human being, the owner of the house where the rat is living, you will not eat that cheese. The rat will waste everything. That is the mentality, lose-lose. When two win-lose people get together, that is people who are so stubborn, determined, people who are egoistic, who always want, wicked rats, who always want to have their way, right? Nobody is ready to compromise for the other. Nobody is ready to bend their rules for the other. So they all stand in the way. Have you ever been on the road? This happens a lot in Nigeria. Two cars will come face to face with each other, right? One is obviously wrong. One is obviously in the lane of the other car. So what happens? None of them wants to reverse. And there's plenty of road. There is road, there's space. One of them should just calm down and reverse and go. No. Both of them will face each other. And in cases where there is no space, there isn't much space, what happens? They cause traffic. They'll be like, do you know who I am? You are wrong. I'm wrong. Nobody will move for each other. That is lose-lose. We're all going to sleep here today. Nobody wins here. Instead of you to win, we are both going to lose. Right. And this is where the story of this man came in. He had a divorce with his wife, right? And the court ruled that he should go and set all his assets and divide it into two. Give half of the proceeds to his wife. Do you know what this guy did? He sold a car that was worth more than $10,000, as in $10,000. He sold it for $50. Oh my God. And he gave $25. He gave $25 to the wife. He was like, instead of you to have half of my possession, you have nothing. We'll both be losers here. You came from nowhere. You want to take half of my possession. I will not get it. You will not get it either. And when the wife reported to the court, the clerk found out that he did this with all his assets. I can't even say the price was ridiculous. This one is beyond ridiculous. He sold all his assets like that in the same manner. Right. Some people become so centered on an enemy, so totally obsessed with the behavior of another person, that they become blind to everything except their desire for that person to lose. They go out of their way. They don't even mind dying in the process. They don't mind losing. As long as you lose, I'm happy. I'm fine. Lose-lose is the philosophy of adversarial conflict, the philosophy of war. The battle line has been drawn. That kind of mentality. Please don't get entangled. You'll be doing yourself more harm than good. Don't get yourself entangled in this. Lose-lose is also the philosophy of the highly dependent person without inner direction, who is miserable and thinks that everybody else should be miserable as well. If I'm not happy here, nobody will be happy. That is their mentality. If nobody ever wins, perhaps being a loser isn't so bad as long as nobody wins. You will hear that, who passed in your class? Nobody passed. We all failed. It makes them happy. They feel fulfilled that they have gotten even with other people. Let's move very quickly. Number 5 is win. This set of people, they don't necessarily want to see you lose. They don't care whether you lose or not. As long as they win, they don't care. Go and sort out yourself. So they are very, very self-centered. As long as I secure the bag, I don't care. Other people can go and sort out themselves, right? So you losing or winning for them is not relevant. What matters is that they get what they want and they go their way. They don't have any sense of contest. They are not competing with you. If you like, work hard and secure your own. If you like, be sharp. If you like, do yourself, right? As long as I get my own, I walk away. Those are the win people. Then we are now being asked, which option is best? Is it the win-win? Is it win-lose? Is it lose-win? Is it lose-lose? Or is it win? Which one is best, right? So we are made to understand that it depends. It depends on the situation that you find yourself in, right? And there are some examples to back this up. For example, in a football game, of course, you are practicing, you are rehearsing because you want to win. And in that kind of game, there must definitely be a winner and there must be a loser. That is where that one has been designed. So there's really nothing you can do about it. So you will not want to go to any game or competition with the mentality that you're going there to lose. Everybody wants to win, right? So that one is understandable. What about win-lose situation, like the race to Bermuda, the story we had at the beginning, right? In this case, there is a contest, okay, win-lose. Yeah, win-lose. Where are we? What's the first one? Win-win. Okay, we are on win-lose, right? Win-lose. Now, there is a lose-win. Lose-win is, for example, you are selling the same products with different companies. You don't have any relationship with these companies, right? You don't have anything to do with them. You're just on your own. You're promoting your own company. In that case, you want to win. Yes, win-lose. You want to win. You don't know anybody there. So nobody's feeling is going to be hurt because they don't know you. You don't know that everybody's running their own races, right? What about lose-win? There are circumstances in which you would want to win and you wouldn't be highly concerned with the relationship of that win to others. For example, that is the lose-win situation. If your child's life is in danger, right? You want to win. You don't care about other people or the circumstances. What matters to you in that instance is that your child's life is saved, right? So in that case, it is just win. That's an example of win, just win alone. You are not praying for other people to lose. You are not praying for anything to happen to their own children or whatever. You are just concerned as a human being about your own child. So you want to save your child's life. In that case, you are not even thinking about other people, which is understandable as human beings. But the best choice depends on reality. So you really need to interpret your reality accurately. Make sure you are not deceiving yourself. Make sure you are not being selfish. You are not being self-centered. You are not wicked. You are not mean. Right? So there are different situations that will come your way that you need to use your discretion and your discernment to know what to do. Of course, there are some that are very obvious. Like we said, a football game or any kind of game or competition, there will definitely be a winner. There will definitely be a loser, right? But most situations, in fact, are part of an interdependent reality. So win-win is really the only viable alternative of the five. It is actually the best of the five. And that is what we should strive for. That is one of the habits of highly effective people. They want everybody to win. They want everybody to be happy. It may not be 100% possible in all situations like we've established, but at least that is the state of their heart. It is not just about techniques or paradigm or what we have written down. It reflects the state of their heart. And if you work with a manager who has a win-win mentality, you know that this person seeks the good of everybody. If we come up with a lose-win, you may appear to get what you want for the moment, but you will destroy relationships. Remember, we're also talking about the principles of interdependence, right? You cannot stay alone in this world. You cannot survive alone. So if every time you want to win, you don't care who loses, then you're going to destroy relationships. You may be happy momentarily. You've gotten what you want. But what about other people? Do you really care about them? Even when you win, don't rub it in. We have seen cases where maybe, for example, Nigerian Idol, that's a competition in Nigeria. And then on the last day of the show, there will be two people, the last two people, one is going to win, one will be the first runner up. And in that moment, they are holding hands. Holding hands, waiting for the winner to be announced, right? As soon as the winner is announced, thank you, the two finalists, the two last contestants, as soon as the winner is announced, what happens? If you have this mentality of win-win, what will you do? You have to quickly go and hug the first runner up. Because in that instance, the person will not be feeling good. Oh, let's not lie. The person will be having all kinds of emotions, not bad belly kind of, not envy, not jealousy per se, but it's always like a moment of embarrassment, like, oh, we're just two, this person has won. So in that instance, the sensitive thing to do is to, I don't know, everybody may not agree with this, but if I were to be in that person's shoes, I'll just minimize my jubilation at that point, right? Hug the other person, not that I'll go a whole on the stage shouting, ah, yeah, I have to be sensitive to the feelings of this, my other contestant, right? We've both come a long way and all of that. There will be jubilation, you'll be the one to be celebrated. But at least don't forget that this person is standing alone. Because in that case, most people will rush towards you, congratulating you and all of that. So what happens to this person that is just standing alone, feeling like the ground could open up and swallow them, right? Even if the hug no reach mind, at least go and do it. But that is what we're trying to say. Let it reach your mind. You have to develop this thing. It is not like lip service. You are not faking it. You are not being deceptive, right? It is something that we need to start cultivating. We live in a world that has been so bastardized. Everybody is seeking his or her own gains. And we don't care how other people feel. As long as I win, I don't care how you feel. That is what the world, the societies that we live in primarily teach us. So we have to start changing that as a matter of the heart, right? Not by pretense or anything. Now we have established that. But there is one last one. It is win-win or no deal. Win-win or no deal. There are definitely situations where you will not be able to agree with people. Their values do not align with yours. What they are bringing to the table, you are not accepting. Instead of having ill feelings towards them, instead of feeling cheated and all of that, you can agree to a no deal. Right? We agree to disagree agreeably. No deal. So in that case, no expectations, nobody feels cheated and all of that. You work with an open mind. You have not signed any contracts, no agreement. Until both of you are able to rework the agreement or the terms before you and then reach an agreement, a win-win agreement. Otherwise, just go for a no deal. Instead of going behind the back to complain, to grumble, hey, see what he did to me. Have the courage to say, I can't take this. Have the courage to say, we have not reached any conclusion. No agreement is reached. Our negotiation is not going on well. It is better to keep it open than for you to go around backstabbing this other person. Right? And you should have the integrity to do so. There's a story of a guy here that really blew my mind. He was a software engineer. So there was a time he developed this software for this bank. The president of the bank at that time really liked the software, but his colleagues, the employees, did not like it. And somewhere along the line, a new president came on board, and this president also did not like it. So he told this man that, sorry, even though we have signed contracts and all of that, we will not be able to proceed with this contract. Now, the owner, the president of this small computer software company, said that they were going through some financial crisis. But because of his integrity, his principle of win-win, he felt that he shouldn't push it further. He shouldn't force it on them. So what did he do? He walked away from an $84,000 contract. That is win-win. To say that if this principle of win-win truly works, right, I am going to get the dividends. I'm going to get the rewards. I'm not going to be a loser at the end of the day. So he tried it and he walked away. He said it was close to financial suicide. Imagine somebody in dire need of money and then you have to walk away from $84,000. But he did that because it wasn't after his own gains, like, oh, I'm going to make my money. I don't care if they like the software or not. That wasn't his mentality. He gave them the money, walked away. But guess what? Three months down the line, this same president of the bank that said they didn't like the software came back to say that they would do business with him, that he should develop a software for them. And he did. And this time, he made almost times 3 of the money he walked away from. He made $240,000. That was the value of the contract. Now, if he had claimed to that $84,000, the president of the bank and all the employees would have felt very bad. Like, this man wants to force his software on us. But he let go. Let both parties win. If they are happy, I'm happy. That was what he did. Right. So anything less than win-win in an interdependent reality is a poor second best that will have impact in the long-term relationship. The cost of that impact needs to be carefully considered. If you cannot reach a true win-win, then go for no deal. Go for no deal. It is better. Right. So no deal approach may be realistic in some circumstances if it is difficult to reach a win-win agreement. Thank you so much. We really cannot finish the review of habits 4 in this video, so we're going to continue tomorrow by God's grace. Please take a moment to like this video, share your comments with me, and please subscribe to this channel in case you are yet to subscribe. I remain Alaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. We'll come again together tomorrow. Until then, be intentional. Bye. Yes, you are welcome. Amen.